gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. Friends, let us all study, investigate, and practice the real words of the Buddha. The words of the Buddha, the real words of the Buddha can be found only from the original discourses of the Buddha. Original teachings, original discourses means the discourses confirmed and established as the words of the Buddha by 500 enlightened monks at the first council, which was held 3 months after passing away of the Buddha. Those original teachings are to be studied, are to be understood properly, clearly, perfectly, and practiced by all of us as the wise persons. Buddha's teaching is for the wise. Every Thursday from 7 to 8:30 we discuss these original teachings of the Buddha. So tonight, this is our talk number 59. Tonight the topic, the discourse we are going to discuss is Chunda Sutta. Chunda. This is referring to Venerable Chunda. Venerable Chunda was the brother of Venerable Sariputta. He was the younger brother of Venerable Sariputta. So tonight our palatable topic is make your own island. Make your own island. This is referring to Venerable Sariputta's passing away. You know, the Venerable Sariputta was the general of the Dhamma. General of the Dhamma. He was always sitting on the right side of the Buddha, and his left side was Venerable Mahamoggallana. They were the chief disciples, 2 chief disciples of the Buddha. Venerable Sariputta got sick and passed away at his home where he was born. In the same cell, same room he was born. He passed away in the same room. By the time Venerable Chunda was the assistant monk to him. Let's understand this discourse. Let's read this and understand bit by bit. And wherever it is necessary, I will explain. Let's come to the discourse. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jetha's grove, Anathapindika's park. Now, on that occasion, the Venerable Sariputta was dwelling among the Magadhans at Nalakagama. Magadha is the city where the Buddha attained enlightenment. Magadha. And Nalakagama is the village where Venerable Sariputta was born. This is close to the present day Nalanda University. It's actually right in front of the university ruins, of course. No university today, as it was destroyed by some misunderstood, misguided people. Nalanda University, right in front of the university, the Nalakagama, where Venerable Sariputta was born. By this time he was sick, afflicted, gravely ill, and the novice Chunda was a novice by the time. Novice Chunda was his attendant. Then, because of that illness, the Venerable Sariputta attained final Nibbana. He attained final Nibbana. That means Arahants, the enlightened ones, they don't die. They pass away, not to be born again. That is why it is called final Nibbana, where they come to completely cease their five aggregates. Thereafter, no more five aggregates are arising, passing in the six sense bases. With their attainment of enlightenment, they completely cease the attachment to five aggregates. No more clinging to five aggregates. The Buddha said, five aggregates affected by clinging is suffering. The enlightened ones have completely eradicated suffering. That means they are no more clinging to five aggregates. We all have to understand clearly five aggregates are all the time arising, passing in the six sense bases from the day that we were born. With our birth, we gain six sense bases, and they are manifesting five aggregates. Buddha used the term Khandanang Patu Bhavo. Patu Bhava means manifesting five aggregates. That is how we have to understand five aggregates. Friends, if we misunderstand these five aggregates, we cannot understand the Four Noble Truths, the dependent origination, the three characteristics of existence, the four establishments of mindfulness. We cannot understand this properly. That important. Five aggregates are that important. Whole Dhamma is based on that. If we understand clearly, correctly, properly, perfectly the five aggregates, we can understand the whole Dhamma within, not the outside, not in the library, not in the books, not outside, but within. That is what is called introspection. Through introspection, we can penetrate, we can understand this Dhamma. So, Venerable Sariputta passed away, not to be born. That is why it is called attain final Nibbana. Nibbana means extinction, completely cessation of defilements, completely cessed all defilements, and finally he just passed away. With that passing away, he has no more aggregates, no more five aggregates, no renewal of existence, no rebecoming. That is what happened to Venerable Sariputta. Then The novice Chunda, taking the Venerable Sariputta's bowl and robe, went to Savatthi to Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park, that is to see the Buddha. Then there he approached the Venerable Ananda first and paid homage to him, sat down to one side and said to him, Venerable Sir, the Venerable Sariputta has attained final Nibbana. And he showed, this is his bowl and robe. According to another discourse, he took some ash also in a strainer. In a strainer he took some ash also. It's not according to this discourse. There is another discourse, another place. According to that, Venerable Chunda took little bit ash also in a strainer. However, let's stick to this. So he showed him, this is Venerable Sariputta's robe. He passed away. He passed away. This is his robe. And this is his bowl. That is how he showed them. Friend Chunda, Venerable Ananda says now, Friend Chunda, we should see the Blessed One about this piece of news. Come, Friend Chunda, let's go to the Blessed One and report this matter to him. Yes, Venerable Sir. The novice Chunda replied. Then the Venerable Ananda and the novice Chunda approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. The Venerable Ananda then said to the Blessed One, this novice Chunda, Venerable Sir, says that the Venerable Sariputta has attained final Nibbana. And this is his bowl and robe. Venerable Sir, since I heard that the Venerable Sariputta has attained final Nibbana, my body seems as if it has been drugged. I have become disoriented. He can't understand what is going on, what is happening. As Venerable Sariputta was so kind to the Sangha. He was the great advisor, only second to the Buddha. So, Venerable Sariputta said, now, as I heard this, Bhante, just like I feel like that I've been drugged. It has been drugged. I have become disoriented. Disoriented. You can't understand things properly. The teachings are no longer clear to me, sir. Then Buddha said, why, Ananda? When Sariputta attained final Nibbana, did he take away your aggregate of virtue? Buddha asked, did he take away your aggregate of virtue or your aggregate of concentration? Did he take away your concentration or your aggregate of wisdom? Did he take away your aggregate of wisdom or your aggregate of liberation or your aggregate of the knowledge and vision of liberation? That is how the Buddha said. Venerable Sariputta passed. Venerable Sariputta attained final Nibbana. Venerable Ananda says, "No, he did not, Venerable Sir, but for me, the Venerable Sariputta was an advisor and counselor, one who instructed, exhorted, inspired, and gladdened me. He was unwearying in teaching the Dhamma. He was helpful to his brothers in the holy life. We recollect the nourishment of Dhamma, the wealth of Dhamma, the help of Dhamma given by the Venerable Sariputta. But have I not," the Buddha says, "but have I not already declared, Ananda, that we must be parted, separated, and served from all who are dear and agreeable to us? How, Ananda, is it to be obtained here? May what is born come to be conditioned and subject to disintegration, not disintegrate. That is impossible. Whatever we dear or delight, agreeable to us, all these come to pass. That is the meaning. We cannot obtain this, as all these are conditioned and subject to disintegration. That is impossible, the Buddha said. It is just as if the largest branch would break off a great tree standing possessed of hardwood. It's just like that. The greatest branch is breaking. Venerable Sariputta was the greatest branch of this huge tree of the Dhamma, of the dispensation. Largest branch would break off a great tree standing possessed of hardwood. This tree, the tree of the dispensation, the sasana, it has a hardwood, but the largest branch was broken. So too, Ananda, in the great Bhikkhu Sangha, standing possessed of hardwood, Sariputta has attained final Nibbana. How, Ananda, is it to be obtained here? May what is born come to be conditioned and subject to disintegration, not disintegrate. What is disintegrate? It is impossible. It is impossible to be obtained as not disintegrate. It is impossible, the Buddha said. Therefore, Ananda, dwell with yourselves as your own island. That is our topic. That is our topic tonight. That is the topic. Dwell with yourself as your own island. Make your own island is the topic. We have to make our own island. With yourself as your own refuge, with no other refuge. Do not go to the refuge of others. Be your own refuge. Make your own island. That is the instruction of the Buddha. Build with the Dhamma as your island. Dhamma as your island. Dhamma as your refuge, with no other refuge. And how, Ananda, does a bhikkhu dwell with himself as his own island? With himself as his own refuge, with no other refuge, with the Dhamma as his island? Dhamma island. We have to make our own island means Dhamma island. Dhamma Deepa. Dhamma Deepa. The Buddha said Dhamma Deepa. With Dhamma as his refuge, with no other refuge. Here, Ananda, a bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. This is the way to make the island. This is the way to make the island. Then he dwells contemplating, feeling as feeling, then mind in the mind, mind as mind, feeling as feeling, mind as mind. There are 4 things. I want to highlight this for your easy understanding. This is the most important thing. Then phenomena as phenomena, ardent, clearly comprehending, mindful, having removed covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. In regard to the world. That we have to understand. Okay, 4 things. How to make your island. How to make your own island. Dhamma island. Why should we make an island? Friends, we all are inundated, submerged, overwhelmed by flood, overflooded in the whole world, flood. We are in the flood of defilements. Greed, hatred, delusion, jealousy, all these mainly based on greed, hatred and delusion. Whole world is submerged. Whole world is with this flood. There are 4 types of flood. They come through 4 directions as 4 different rivers, streams. What are the 4? The flood, one river from one direction, which is called sensual pleasures. That is one river, one stream. From the other side, samsaric existence as a flood, as a stream, as a river. Then wrong views from the other side, third side. Wrong views, that is another stream. Wrong views. And then the 4th one is ignorance. So sensual pleasures, sansaric existence, wrong views, and ignorance. These are called four streams of flood, defilements. With this, all the time there is water, we all are in that water, flood, inundated. We all are inundated. That is why we have to make the island. So how to make the island? What is to be done? Buddha said, a bhikkhu means the practitioner. A practitioner, whoever, not necessarily a bhikkhu, monk. Bhikkhu means monk, not necessarily a monk. Whether monk, nun, or lay persons. Dwells, contemplate in the body, body as the body. You can say body as the body, body in the body, or body as the body. Ardent, clearly comprehending, mindfully, and having removed covetousness and displeasure in regard to the world. That means equanimously. If I put this in 4 different terms for you to understand clearly, one has to practice ardently. Second, clearly comprehending, mindfully, and equanimously. Again, practice ardently, clearly comprehending, mindfully, and equanimously. Practice what? Buddha said, establish mindfulness. That is what we have to practice. Establish mindfulness where? Establish mindfulness body, in the body. Body in the body. What is body in the body? We have 2 types of bodies. Breath body and this body, this corporeality. First, we have to establish mindfulness on breath. That is why the Buddha introduced, according to the great discourse of the establishment of mindfulness, Maha Satipatthana Sutta. First, the Buddha introduced how to practice mindfulness of breathing. That is important. That is the first thing to do. Then the Buddha pointed out some other methods to practice. To establish mindfulness body in the body. Then the second one is the same thing to practice. Whenever practice this, we have to have those 4 qualities. Ardently, clearly comprehending, mindfully, and equanimously. Second thing, the second components or second establishment of mindfulness is establishing mindfulness in feelings as feelings. Feelings as feelings. Now, when we practice mindfulness of, establish mindfulness of body in the body, as the Buddha said, first, give your attention and understand the breath. There are different stages of breath. Understand this. Secondly, the 4 postures. Then, whatever we are doing, whether we are walking, whether we are going forward or backward, turning and going backward. While we are eating, drinking, adjusting our clothes, whenever we are extending our limbs, flexing limbs, and even while we are using restroom, be mindful, understand clearly. That is the practice. Another method, observe this 32 parts of the body or 42 parts of the body. That is also to establish mindfulness in body as body. Then understand the four elements in the body. These were given as the to establish mindfulness in the body as body. Then the second one is dwell contemplating feelings as feelings. Feelings is to be understood. Feelings means not pain. Feelings means not pain. Feeling is not, that means feeling is not only regarding this body. We have 6 types of feelings, which are called 6 classes of feelings. 6 classes of feelings. What are the 6? Eye feelings, ear feelings, nose feeling, tongue feeling, body feeling, and mind feeling. 6. Whenever feeling arises in the eye, we have to understand it. Feeling arises because of contact. Contact arises when there are 3 things together. Meeting of the 3 is the cause for the contact. Whenever this 3 meets in the eye, what are the 3? The eye, external form, internal eye, and the form that we have take in as the image. That is what is called external form. Not the form out there, which is made of 4 elements. Outside things are not come into the eye. What we take as the image into the eye is called external base. So the internal base, external base, and consciousness, these 3 meet together, 3 come together. That is what is called contact. With that contact as a condition, feeling arises. Passa pachaya vedana, the Buddha said in Pali. It is because of that contact feeling arises. So eye feeling, ear feeling, nose feeling, tongue feeling, body feeling, and mind feeling. 6 classes of feelings. All these feelings are to be understood. In order to understand this, we have to have mindfulness. We have to establish mindfulness where? In the eye, in the ear. What time? Whenever a thought arises. Thought arises through the eye, to the ear when there is a sound, when there is a smell through the nose, when there is the taste through the tongue, when there is a tangible through the body, when there is the thought, whenever we are contemplative, whenever we are thinking of something, or in dreams even. By that time, we have to be mindful, and we have to understand that feeling as feeling. That is what is called establishment of feelings as feelings. That is the second component of the 4 establishments of mindfulness. Now, let's come to the third one. Establishment of mindfulness, mindfulness of mind as mind. Mind in mind. What is this? Friends, we have different thoughts. Different thoughts are to be understood. Buddha gave a list of things, 16 in the list, 16 types of mentality, different states of mind, 16, a list of 16 given, where according to the Buddha's teaching, whenever we have lustful thought, we have to understand lustful thought as lustful thought. Which is free from lust is to be understood as free from lust. Whenever it is hateful, a hateful thought as hateful, or thought free from hate as free from hate. Then delusion. If it is delusion, we have to understand as it is delusion. If it is free from delusion, we have to understand as free from delusion. Then whatever, in such a way, whatever thought, even concentration, when it is concentrated, we have to understand as it is concentrated. If it is not concentrated, we have to understand that it is not concentration. Whenever it is liberated, the mind is liberated, we have to understand, oh, mind is liberated now. If it is not liberated, we have to understand it is not liberated. Like that. The nature, the state of mind should be understood, and in order to establish mindfulness as mind, in the mind, we have to be mindful on our mental state, that mind. That is how to practice the third component or third aspect of the establishment of mindfulness. We are talking about 4 satipatthana. That is the way to make our own island, as the Buddha clearly said here. Then the fourth component, fourth establishment of mindfulness. What is that? Mental phenomena as phenomena. We have to understand, we have to be mindful to understand clearly the Dhamma. This is pure insight, vipassana, where first of all we have to be mindful to understand 5 hindrances and cut them off totally. What are the 5 hindrances? Sensual desire first. Whenever there is no sensual desire, we have to understand that there is no sensual desire in my mind. Whenever it is arising, we have to understand that it is arising. Whenever it is passing, we have to understand that it is passing. Whenever it is not coming again, we have to understand clearly that sensual desire is never returning, never come back. From that time, no more sensual desire. It's gone for good. Ill will, the same. Sleepiness and laziness the same. Restlessness and worry the same. And doubt the same. All 5 hindrances, same thing to be contemplated, understood, and we to establish mindfulness. From that moment, the practitioner has no disturbance from 5 hindrances. As long as we have 5 hindrances submerged, our mind is calm. That is what is called concentration meditation. From this time onwards, no more hindrances, no problem with the 5 hindrances. Then, as the result, what happened? We can understand clearly the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates from where? From the eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base, body base, and the mind base. 5 aggregates. You can understand clearly the 5 aggregates. With that, we can understand the internal bases and external bases, 12 bases. 12 bases. Then our mindfulness is intense, well developed, prominent, is well developed, properly developed mindfulness. It becomes a factor of enlightenment. You know, there are 7 factors of enlightenment. Of the 7 factors of enlightenment, the first one is mindfulness. Mindfulness as a factor of enlightenment. Since we have mindfulness, well-developed mindfulness, we can understand the Dhamma. We do our own investigation of the Dhamma. That is the second factor of enlightenment. Then we want to do it more, again and again. Again and again. With that, we have energy. Energy as a factor of enlightenment. With that, rapture arises, and we have rapture as a factor of enlightenment. As we have a rapturous mind, our body and mind both become sort of tranquility, come to the state of tranquility, which leads to concentration, fully concentration, concentrated mind. Body and the mind both come to the state of concentratedness, concentrated mind. Finally, as a factor of enlightenment, there arises and fully developed equanimity. Equanimity. That equanimous mind can understand dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, distress, suffering as suffering. Whatever the name given. You can understand dukkha, understand suffering as suffering, the cause of suffering as the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering as the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering as the path leading to the cessation of suffering. That means these 7 factors of enlightenment are leading us towards the full enlightenment, full liberation. Friends, this is the way to practice, this is the way to build 4 dams across the 4 rivers and make our own island, Dhamma island. That is the instruction of the Buddha. The Buddha said, those bhikkhus, according to this discourse, the last para, those bhikkhus, Ananda, either now or after I am gone, who dwell with themselves as their own island, with themselves as their own refuge, with no other refuge, with the Dhamma as their island, with the Dhamma as their refuge, with no other refuge. It is this bhikkhus Ananda who will be for me topmost of those keen on the training in this dispensation. So that is the end of this discourse. It's a wonderful discourse. This is how the Buddha taught us to make our own island and to go to our own refuge. Be your own refuge. That is the message. That is the instruction of the Buddha. Make your own island, Dhamma island, so that which is not overflood, not overwhelming. Make your own island. In order to do that, the Buddha said in the Dhammapada, Buddha said, by sustained effort, earnestness, discipline, and self-control, the wise person makes his or her own island which no flood overwhelms. In the Dhammapada. In Pali, I will recite the Pali also, for those who want to understand that a little bit more. Uttanena appamadena sanyamena damena cha Deepang kairata medavi yang ogho nabhi kirati. That is what the Buddha said in Pali. So friends, let's understand this wonderful Dhamma. This is the way to understand the Dhamma. We have to read this Dhamma. We have to investigate this Dhamma. We have to understand clearly what the Buddha really taught. Then we can understand this whole Dhamma as a net. In a net, each and every eye is well connected. Just like that, the whole Dhamma, real Dhamma of the Buddha, everything is very well connected. Let's understand these wonderful teachings of the Buddha and practice this Dhamma in our daily life so that we can live happily, peacefully, and one day we can close our eyes peacefully. That is the purpose of this life. May we all realize this real peace, real happiness of Dhamma. May we all realize real peace, real happiness of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.